A year ago today, a band of pilgrims left Minster Lovell to walk to Enstone. It turned into rather a gruelling experience. It's always a bad idea to underestimate the length of a walk, but severe underestimation had occurred in this case. It's usually a bad idea to plan to walk more than 10 miles in a day, and this pilgrimage, even in the underestimation, was more than that. It's a bad idea not to have regular short breaks, perhaps 10 minutes in the hour, but no such allowance had been made. It's a bad idea to lose time lingering over lunch, but loiter we did. It's a very bad idea obstinately to insist on taking an overgrown footpath when circumvention would have been easy, and then to trip and fall, no, dive into a bed of stinging nettles. It's a bad idea to arrive late for the rendezvous arranged with hosts, and to do so sweaty, besmirched, and reeling from exhaustion. It's a particularly bad idea to leave the key of the car intended to transport you back from Enstone in a car parked in Minster Lovell. Lots of bad ideas were put into practice on that pilgrimage a year ago, but the basic idea was a very good one. It was to honour St Kenelm on his feast day by walking from one church dedicated to him to another, and to join in the annual St Kenelm picnic in the churchyard of St Kenelm's Enstone. I am disappointed that COVID has led to the abandonment of a repeat pilgrimage this year, which would have been a reinstantiation of a very good idea, this time with most of the bad ideas ruthlessly expunged. You do, though, inevitably have to walk more than 10 miles to get from SKML to SK Enstone. Bad ideas and all, I remember last year fondly. We honoured the saint. There was good conversation, much of it between people who hadn't known one another before. The physical exercise was healthy, though too much of a good thing, and the spiritual testing was managed pretty well, with suffering endured and the virtue of patience impressively exercised. For the most part, a little tetchiness was occasioned by the stinging nettle plunge. After some initial surprise at our bedraggled arrival, the Enstone History Society were generous hosts. And best of all was to sit in the finely reordered church that was our destination, taking in the superb mosaic reredos of the St Kenelm legend by Nicholas Mynheer, a former Enstone resident. The pilgrimage worked, after all. It is thought that the historical St Kenelm was born about 786, son of the Mercian king Coenwulf. Kenelm's name appears in a number of charters, the last of them dated 811. Which may be the year of his death. If so, he died young, but not as young as the various legends of his life would have it. In them, Kenelm is only a boy when, at the behest of his scheming elder sister, he is beheaded by his guardian, who has designs on the sister and, like her, on the Mercian throne. Before his death, Kenelm has a symbolic vision which his nurse interprets as predicting his killing, to which the boy then goes aware and calm, singing the Te Deum. A dove carries a scroll to the Pope in Rome, on which is written an indication of where Kenelm's body is buried, the Cow Vale in the Clent Hills in Worcestershire. The Pope communicates with the Archbishop of Canterbury and a search is made. Its success, in one version, enabled by the good offices of an obstinate cow, which has taken to coming day after day to Kenelm's grave and refusing to be moved on. Kenelm's sanctity, and possibly the cow's, are indicated by the extraordinary abundance of her milk yield. Kenelm's body is taken to Winchcombe, Gloucestershire, and becomes the agent of many miracles. And, satisfyingly, Kenelm's sister and guardian get their fatal comeuppance. I suppose this is the sort of thing that gets medieval saints' lives a bad name among sticklers for historical accuracy. But as an aid to devotion towards the God who delights in the innocence of children and blesses the heroism of martyrdom, the God who moves in mysterious and miraculous ways, the God to whom the birds and the animals give their homage, the God who brings good out of evil, who ultimately rewards virtue, and who has promised to deal finally with sin and death, the story of St Kenelm stands high. And Nicholas Mynheer's pictorial interpretation does not let the story down one bit. So, next year in Enstone.